Hello, Joshua, and welcome to Experience Share. It's a Pokemon podcast starring me, Leevanner, a.k.a. Tanner Greenring. And I am joined by you, Fieble.
I feel like you've had 3 hits in a row on my name. Yours is good on this one too, but I didn't love the coughing ring.
Yeah,
as
coughing
much.
ring was a stretch.
But Leevanner's great. Fieble's great. All of mine have been great. So
well, I think I've really unlocked the FJ.
Fiele Kid.
The FJ.
Fiele Pup. Very good.
But this is a Pokemon podcast, Josh. We play through each Pokemon game, gym by gym, week by week. We are playing through Pokemon Black 2 and White 2.
I'm White 2, Tanner's Black 2.
Yes. Josh did not give me the option.
Well, we each played Black and White. Why wouldn't we play the sequel when it's the first sequels?
Wouldn't we
play
want
the
to
direct
flip?
sequel?
Wouldn't we want to flip?
No.
Okay. I don't care, and honestly, I agree. Yeah, I would want to finish the game I started.
I feel that Black City that you get is better than White Forest.
No, not the way we
But
play.
I don't know if it's in this one. And yeah, that's true.
Neither of them are good options.
Either
the way we
is
play.
going to be bad no matter what.
We take too long to get there.
So then I hope somebody burned White Forest to the ground.
Yeah, and I hope someone
Useless to me.
I hope someone carpet bombed Black City. Whichever monkey wrench gang burned down the forest can come carpet bomb the city too.
Yeah, fuck it.
I just hope all the residents moved out. Oh wait, there were no residents.
Not by the time you get there.
Not by the time I got there. We're not there yet though, Joshua. No. I'm not even sure we'll see White Forest
I
and
don't
Black
know
City
if we'll
again.
ever make it there. I don't think we're gonna do. We didn't talk about this, but I don't think we're gonna do 2 chasing waterfalls again on this one. I feel like no.
Oh, are you kidding me? You see this? Oh, you can't look at it probably.
Don't you remember? Because I have the moon, I can't look up anything, and I have questions based on some of the stuff I saw this week that I can't look up bug catchers because, as a reminder, we're playing King's Lock, and we're playing with some cuckoo bananas rules, and
the moon.
The moon means that I cannot look up anything related to the game except for things that I need to check in order to engage other rules that have been...
well, let
so
me
I'm
tell
only
you.
reading off my fucking 10-page pieces of paper like rule book.
Let me tell you then, Josh, that the walkthrough on Bulbapedia is 22 parts long.
Oh my
and
God.
Parts 16 through 22 are all post game. So there's a lot of post game.
So we're looking at another 12-episode season probably.
It sort of seems likely, but we'll worry about that later, Joshua. We're still little baby toddlers setting foot on the Unova mainland for the first time this week. We've grown up. We've lost our baby teeth. We've learned how to walk and talk, and now we've left Western Unova, and we're here on the mainland.
We've left Buffalo in our dust.
Did it feel familiar to you? Did it feel like when you finally left Bainbridge Island behind and went to the big city, Seattle?
Yeah, just the same
time?
where you show up on a big, beautiful boat right when it's like sunset or sunrise, and you take in that big skyscraper-filled view, and you're like, I made it. These vagabond shoes were longing to stray. Immediately
you step off a boat and a clown approaches you.
Yeah. That's exactly
Find
right.
my clown friends.
The first time I came to New York, I was basically immediately accosted by one of those guys who's got their CD that they're trying. I don't know if this even happens anymore, but it was 2008 or whatever. And I go into Manhattan. I think it was to go see Belle and Sebastian. I think the first time was Rufus Wainwright. Wow, how about that one? Anyway, I go in, and somewhere in Manhattan, this guy just happens to bump into me, and then I happen to get a mixtape in my hand, and he's like,
was it Rufus Wainwright?
Oh, I must have been.
What was that song that he did?
Cigarettes and Chocolate Milk.
Yeah, Cigarettes and Chocolate Milk. Was that on the...
I discovered Rufus Wainwright, actually. Yeah.
Was Cigarettes and Chocolate Milk on the Garden State soundtrack? Is that why it's familiar to me?
God, I don't think so.
Let's see. No, it was just that's it.
Lots of hits on here, though. In the waiting line. Ooh.
Yep. It was a good album.
But anyway, yeah. So that just like this clown in Castelia City, who's trying to make you pick up his mixtape, which is the Castelia Harlequin Hunt.
Yeah, the Harlequin Hunt, which I like because Harlequins are a character set in Warhammer 40K.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
They're like high elf, like mimes who do like martial arts.
Just like these Harlequins.
Yeah. These Harlequins suck. The first time I went to New York, I had a bank account with a bank called Washington Mutual, WAMU. And
Washington Mutual's out here?
They were.
That's my Washington.
They were. And then shortly after I moved here, I got a job as a PA on a film set and got a news alert that Washington Mutuals were all closing, that they had gone under, and they were all closing, and they were being bought out by Chase.
Classic.
And I left my job and I went to WAMU and I was like, I don't know what that means, but I'm paranoid about it, so I'm going to go take all my money out of the bank.
Stuff it under my mattress?
Yeah, essentially. And I approached the bank. As I was approaching the bank, their ATM is around the corner. It's not on Smith Street, so it's kind of on the side street. So it's a little more quiet, a little more secluded. Mm-hmm. And I was walking from that direction and saw the ATM in front of me, and there was a man standing at it. And as I approached, I realized that the man was masturbating onto the keypad of the ATM.
Oh, yeah.
So I left and I went and found a different
I feel
Washington
like
Mutual.
That's not going to make the money come out, buddy.
I think it's going to do something.
Like the money shot, but Jesus.
So that's what you get when you move to New York. You get little slice of life experiences like that. Yeah. Shit like that doesn't happen up here in suburban Connecticut all that often.
No.
I think if
not a lot of mixtapes.
If something like that were going to happen in suburban Connecticut, I would need to be the change I want to see in the world. You know, I would need to be the one who's really leading that charge.
Oh yeah.
Come on, people of Connecticut, let's get out there. Let's start masturbating on ATM machines.
This is your moment if you were ever going to do it with all New Yorkers who fled to Connecticut during this pandemic. Now is the moment, and you can lead.
I can be the
That's
Gandhi.
what history is all about.
I can be the Gandhi of ATM machine masturbation. Anyway, we ended our journey last week in Burbank City. We talked with Drew Scheid a little bit about his experience in Pokéstar City, but we hadn't gone in at that point last week. I have since.
I did too. Well, you have to.
Not only have I did it.
What, you made it big?
I did Pokéstar Studios for a long time.
You wanted to see what you get?
I did several movies. Well, the directors' names intrigued me.
Okay.
Because at the beginning, when you go in to do a shoot, you do the shoot, and you're given like these sort of choose your own adventure style like prompts, where it's like you get to choose like a line you say, and you get to like choose a move you do, and like you get one of three outcomes. You get the good ending, the like bad ending, and like the weird ending.
Yeah, and you can read the script for like little hints about the kind of like move or like, you know, maneuver you should do. So it'll be like, oh, use a move that will one hit KO a flying type or something.
Right. Yep.
And depending on what you pick, it impacts the outcome.
Right. If you go with the script, if you go with everything the script tells you to do, you get the good ending, and then you become a star, and your Pokemon has a little like flourish whenever they enter battle.
Ooh.
And you get something on your trainer card, I think. I didn't make it that far, but when you go and shoot the film, afterwards you then go into the theater and you watch the film, and at the beginning of every movie there's a credit scene, and every movie has a director. And the first like intro tutorial screens have a director called Sergio Pokemonsky.
Okay.
And I don't know if you saw, but I had to text our friend David Sims earlier.
Yes.
And just say, who is Sergio Pokemonsky supposed to be?
Is this some sort of a joke?
And he also didn't seem to know. He thought it was probably Sergio Leone, like one would imagine it is. So that one's confusing. But the other ones are Sydney Pokemet, who is Sydney. Well, it's I guess it depends on how you want to pronounce both Pokemet and Lamette.
Is it Lume or Pokemay?
But then is it Pokemay?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so Sydney Pokemay and Sydney Lamay.
Yeah.
And then there's Takeshi Pokemi, who's also a little confusing, but I think it's probably Takeshi Kitano. who is a
Who?
famous Japanese film director. You might know him. Did you ever watch that show MXC, I think it was called, or something like that? It was like a
No.
Japanese stunt show where people would go up like big obstacle courses. It was a little like Wipeout. And there was
No, but
two
it sounds
hosts, but one of the guys is called this guy called Beat Takeshi, who's one of the two hosts of that show, and he's also a famous Japanese film director. He directs a lot of like action films. And then there's John Pokenter, who's John Carpenter.
Okay. Yeah.
And then there's David Pokench, who's David Lynch. So they do all these fun Pokemon film director puns.
That's a good Tanny. That's a Tanny fun facty.
That's a Tanny facty, yeah.
Well done.
Yeah.
I only did the Riolu Kid, which is the one that you have to do, because I was far behind this week. So I needed to just get out of town. I didn't get to make my mark on Pokéstar Studios, but maybe I will one day.
It's more fun than the beauty contests, because really what you're just doing is like battling, except you're doing battling in like a very particular way. And then like I don't know. And the prizes weren't all that good, but I did make it to a movie called Time Gate Traveler, which starred my You Make Me Barf Pokemon of the Week.
Oh, wow.
Already. And it's Solosis, which is a little confounding to me because I don't think of Solosis as an ugly Pokemon. But here's the thing, Josh. I've never run a Solosis. And when you run one, and when you're doing battle with one, and when you see one from behind, you realize pretty quickly that Solosis is just a floating butt.
Oh, man. You're right. I've never run one either, and there's
just
no other way of looking at this.
Little rump. Right? Its little rump is just like hovering in your face the entire time.
It is a butt.
It's just a butt. It's like a butt in a jelly sack.
Yep.
Welcome to the skeleton crew, Solosis.
Yeah, it is. It's upsetting when you think about it. Especially then it's like, what's this little nose that's like in the middle of it on the front side?
That's its butt nose.
It's kind of a butt nose.
Yeah.
I don't like this. You're right.
It's just a little rump. It's just a little floating rump.
I did like that from my limited experience in the Pokéstar Studios. You can get little fun, like you can see the stats about your film.
Yeah.
So mine got 24 billion yen on its debut weekend. You do have to like go and get a ticket before you could go in, which is funny. And I saw, this is again a Pokemon Crossroads shout out, but I guess what you get at the end if you do all 8 or whatever it is films, you get a little statue and then you get your own dressing room.
Oh, that's cool.
Which is kind of funny.
It's sort of like a base like in previous games.
I think that must be it. I would love to look into it more, but I can't. So
and you get a little why not? Oh, right.
Because it's related to the game.
You could just do it.
No fun facties from this Joshi.
You could just do
anytime soon.
You could have just done all 8 movies and seen what happened.
No, I didn't have time for that. I had a level 2 fucking Audino at the time.
So
you, my act.
You just did the essentials at Pokemon Studio or Pokéstar Studio,
and then I headed for the docks.
Do you want to know another fun facty?
Yeah.
That I learned about Pokéstar Studios in Korea and Japan and Europe. Pokéstar Studios is called Pokewood Studios.
That's cute.
Yeah, I imagine.
Why couldn't we have that?
Because it's like fur affinity stuff, right? Like all of a sudden you're thinking about like Pokemon's wood, you know?
Yeah, American audiences are too horny.
Yeah, American audiences.
That's what you mean?
Way too horny. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh shoot! some NPC in the game said something kind of sexual this week, and I've forgotten. I meant to capture it and forgot it.
Well, I know that Berg at one point talks about how Leavanny makes clothes for other Pokemon out of its leaves, and I found that a little
interesting. That might answer the question of like, let's talk about that when we get to Berg.
Yeah.
It might answer the question of how these Pokemon are getting clothes.
No, yeah, you know what? We could have broken that wide open.
Yeah. So yeah, Pokéstar Studios, a fun little diversion. I can't imagine ever going back, but it was cute. It's kind of fun. It's definitely more fun than beauty contest.
Not going to trigger the amount of cards that it would take to ever go back there.
Oh, I'll tell you this, Joshua. I went back to Western Unova this week to catch a Pokemon.
After going to Castelia?
Because I was compelled to by a card, and it was pretty brutal. But we'll get to that in just a minute, because right
All
now we leave Pokéstar Studios and we head towards the docks, and we see a confrontation between Roxy and her dad, the captain, and these new Team Plasma grunts. You know who they look like? They look like the anti-terrorists in Counter-Strike. Did you ever play Counter-Strike?
No, actually.
They just look like generic 90s counter-terrorists. They're in black, military garb with little vests and little berets. They just sort of look like paramilitary troops.
Yeah, they've got a big green beret thing going on too, where it's just all. I mean, they're on all black and gray, but it's just
a bummer.
Obviously you're some secretive organization,
right?
And they used to have such a unique style with the Knights Templar shit.
They used to look so cool, and now they just look so boring. But
it's like a Team Rocket outfit without any of the personality, kind of a thing.
So this dude, he is in an argument with Roxy and the captain, and then leaves. He runs, I guess, when he sees you and Bad Josh, and he flees into Route 20. So
they were just trying to get their Pokemon, obviously.
Well, and it's like they know we're doing King's Lock, because they're like, we're gonna have this guy run into Route 20.
I was so terrified.
You're going to have to go in there for all of 5 minutes to hunt down this
literally
Team Plasma guy, and then you're
to
back
just find
here at the
one
dock.
of them.
Yeah. So, of course, I go into Route 20, and I pull a 7 of Pentacles.
Okay.
7 is draw 2 new cards and follow the rules on them. Which I pulled several times this week. Luckily, this one wasn't too bad. I pulled a 4 of Swords. 4 was that one that was keeping me from doing stab attacks.
Oh, that's
so
good.
This 4
that's a freebie.
Voided that last one, which is nice.
Yeah.
And then I pulled a Knight of Cups. The Knight cards are pretty easy. That's the one where you have to choose a champion.
Feel like there's so many of them. I got 2 of those this week.
Yeah, I think.
And I already previously had one.
I mean, it's just like any other card, right? There's going to be 5 of them in the deck.
I think going into this, I didn't realize how redundant the cards actually get.
Yeah.
I mean, it's mostly numbers, but
I would have been stuck with that no stab thing for the entire week if it weren't for pulling this one.
Yeah, that would have been brutal.
So yeah, I chose Riolu as my champion for this section.
Good choice.
Which didn't come into play until later. It didn't come into play until we got to Castelia City, and I needed to start doing some trainer battles. Because the whole thing about the Night cards, it's a champion, and you have to choose one Pokemon to do the next 5 trainer battles. And if it loses,
they must prevail.
You have to put it in the box, and if it wins, it's immune to King's Lock rules.
Yeah, and this made me realize that, was Snivy still a champion, or could I nominate it again? Because that's what I did. I drew a Knight of Wands here. But previously, Snivy was my champion for some amount of time.
I think Snivy can be
so they remain a champion?
Sure.
Okay. Because we never clarified that.
You could have asked your observer before you went.
Then I feel like that gets confusing, because then it's just immune to everything forever? Or is it cards drawn after that?
Well, it would have to...
Those impact it.
It would have to do another 5 battles. And there's always the chance that it could lose in one of those battles and get boxed.
Well, it did. I mean, it did 5 in it, but it won. What I'm saying is, once it's champion,
you're taking the risk
it remains
with the reward.
Immune until what?
Until you draw another Night card, or you... I don't remember what it says in the rules, and I don't have them in front of me right now, but I think it's until you draw another Night card.
Okay. So I guess it was still my champion, technically, but I had been
It's so hard to remember sometimes, especially with the minor Arcana cards, which are one and done. But when you get something like a 5, which is guys, or a 6, which is chicks, sometimes it's a struggle to remember that you still have that active, you know?
Yeah.
I had a 5 guys almost the entire time this leg, and I only had one female Pokemon, but I kept forgetting that I'm not allowed to run her. I got a couple levels off on a Growlithe that I technically wasn't allowed to level up.
Well, I made I'm not litigating anything that happens here.
Yeah.
Clearly, I made the most mistakes. I don't think I made any this time, other than I guess maybe Snivy was already my Knight, but I guess it could just be a Knight again.
It's just
that doesn't really benefit me.
It's going out for another tournament, you know?
Yeah, it's sallying forth once more.
Yeah. I mean, it does benefit you because you can continue to be Snivy continues to be immune from rules.
Yeah, although something happens to it at the end of this leg based on a card, but I just feel like it must end once you draw a card again. I mean, I drew another knight, so I guess you only have one champion, maybe? That's how it works.
Yeah, I think it ends when you
So
draw
my other
another knight
Pokemon's a knight. Okay.
Yeah.
Which I did because I was like, oh, if Snivy survives, this is a way that I can override my fucking Hanged Man, which doesn't let any of my Pokemon evolve.
Right.
So I was like, win the tournament, and then as champion, you can evolve.
I'm so glad I haven't gotten any of those yet, and I hope not to get one until like late game when everything's already evolved.
Yeah.
So yeah, Route 20 is a pretty brief stint. We just run in, we look for this Team Plasma person. They fight us. They have some pretty low level Pokemon, and then they run off. And Team Plasma's back is the message.
They're back.
So now we have to go to the mainland, to Castelia City, to hunt down the Team Plasma crew.
Mr. Wrong and Bad Josh won't let this go. No. They're like, no, we got to chase him to the ends of the earth.
Yeah. Like Frankenstein's monster.
Yeah. And the captain, Roxy's dad, is back at his post because he got spat out of the bottom of the porn industry.
Yeah. He really tried.
He was not a success.
Roxy liked his movie. Roxy was like, I liked your movie, Dad. Or she calls him Pop. So
that's what they called him in his last gig, too.
So yeah, and then we get on the boat. We get on Captain Pop's boat, and we sail over to Castelia City. As we said earlier, the second you arrive, a clown assaults you, and was like, "Find my clown friends." So you just have to kind of go on a wild goose hunt to find these dudes, and then all you get at the end is a rare candy, which I guess is a pretty good prize.
That's good compared to what we've been getting for free from all these other freaks.
And it's better than a TM, which we can't use. So
yeah, rare candy, that's a loophole. Yeah. We can use that.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
What did you pull when you got to Castelia? Because there's lots of battling to be done in Castelia. You get a 10. Oh, that's the one you texted me about?
This is where Tanner gave me a respite.
Mercy. I showed him mercy.
Yeah, that was I was so thankful for that, especially given your comments in the premiere episode where you were basically threatening to screw me over every time.
Yeah, you got screwed over enough last episode. So when you asked for a new rule on the 10 card, I told you that you were free to discard whichever major arcana card was fucking you over the most.
Yeah. You can revoke all of them, it says, but you revoked one, and I'll take that.
I gave you the choice.
I had Death still, so that's obviously the one that I dropped. Because Death is the one where if they faint, they're boxed.
Right. Do you still have that one that makes you have 5 Arcana cards?
Yep.
That's the one I would have thrown away.
I thought about that, but I was like, but I'll still be stuck with Death, and like...
Yeah, I just
the
think Arcana cards are
worse.
So bad, though, you know? I mean, some of them are great, as we're about to find out. But... yeah, you arrive in Castelia City. It's the same Castelia it was last time. You're just coming in from a slightly different route. And actually, the trail to whatever it's called, Arrow Bridge or whatever.
Sky Arrow Bridge.
Sky Arrow Bridge.
It's like out?
It's closed, yeah.
Yeah.
But still go over there if you're playing because a lady will give you a Quick Claw in that bridge house.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
And we can use those. We can use holdable items.
Yeah.
What did you draw?
Also. I drew a Queen of Cups, which is like a boon. That's the boat come in, the ship came in. But that only works if there's catchable Mon on the
Yeah,
right.
there is no Mon.
And there's no Mon here.
Although it was a boat coming in, that's sort of poetic.
Yeah.
You think about it.
If there's no wild Mon in the area and you draw a queen, the rule is that you're allowed to unbox any boxed Pokemon, any petrified Pokemon. So I went and unboxed Tepig. Welcome back to the team.
Good choice. Yeah, I guess obvious
Abaddon. Choice. Tepig. Abaddon the Despoiler. It was nice having Abaddon back out. Little cutie. It was. I now have 3 fire Pokemon, viable fire Pokemon on my team.
Oh, okay.
And I had to make
zero.
Some tough choices this week on who I want to be the fire Pokemon on my team. But Abaddon's back in the mix, and he's having fun. He's chopping it up. He's gaining some levels. He evolved.
Oh yeah.
He's a whatever it's called.
That's nice.
Pig Knight.
Pig Knight.
Yeah, a little roly-poly Pig Knight. So that line is growing on me, man. Pig Knight's kind of cutie.
I'm going to have to say it now because now you're already talking about it. Because once we go into the sewers, Mr. Wrong started with a Tepig, and now he has a Pig Knight, and I was fighting alongside a Pig Knight for the whole sewers.
Yeah.
Pig Knight's Joshy's sweetie.
It's cute, isn't it?
Eating my hat on this one.
It's sort of cute. It's a little roly-poly pig.
I'm not ready to vindicate Embor yet, but Pig Knight, I was wrong.
Embor's just kind of a big Pig Knight, though. It's sort of one of those weak final evolutions where it's like, oh, you didn't bother. You just sort of made the middle evolution bigger.
Yeah, but Pig Knight, I like it that it's like self-confident, but in sort of a funny way where you're like, you put on a tough face, but I think you're probably kind of a softie.
Yeah, I like him.
And he's determined, and he's got the fun tail that I got to see bouncing around the whole time because it was always Pig Knight and then my Pokemon battling.
I like having him back, and I looked up his stats this week, too, to decide
that arm thrust.
The 3 Pokemon. So I'm down to 2. I will get to the third one in a moment, but... So we're in Castelia City. There's a few things that we can do here. The first of which is the Royal Unova. So there's a bunch of docks in Castelia City. A lot of them take you to some weird places.
There's a big black pirate ship, which I think is Team Plasma. Some guy talks about it.
Yeah,
you can't go onto it.
No,
there's like a couple of boats you can't go onto yet.
Yeah. But there are a couple of boats you can go on that I went on one and realized that it was a dead end. So I drew a card, but then I was like, oh, wait, there's nothing here. And so
was that the Liberty Garden?
Yeah, Liberty Garden.
Yeah. It was some island that was purchased by an ultra-rich family like 200 years ago or something for Pokemon and people to live in peace. And then it's just a lighthouse, and you can go into the basement, and there's like a bunker.
There's like a bedroom down there.
Yeah, and that's it. And they all talk about Victini, so I believe, again, can't look it up, I believe this is probably an event Pokemon area.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But...
I didn't know what it was.
Because Victini is a legendary that I believe was event only.
I went there, I drew a card, but I was like, oh, there's nothing here. So I just left.
Yeah, same. That does not count, I think.
And then there's a boat that will take you to Unity Pier, to the Unity Tower. But I don't know what that is, and you can't get on the boat yet.
Wouldn't let me on yet.
But the girl who will eventually let you on does give you a Destiny Knot, which is kind of nice. They're just like... They're throwing held items out this week. Like, I got so many held items. I got the experience share. You get you get whatever is best for your starter. Some woman in one of the buildings gives you like either a miracle seed or a charcoal or a
Mystic
whatever the water one is.
Yeah.
They just give them away. A scope lens.
Yeah, that was wild.
Yeah.
Scope lens already.
Dark glasses. I think you
black
get
glasses, yeah.
Black glasses.
Yeah, in the alley.
Spoon.
No, he gives you flash. He's looking for his black glasses, and then it's the one where this guy gives you flash in an alleyway, which is problematic. So. There's also 2 kids. I took a video of this, so I'll put it on the Instagram. There's 2 kids who are just facing each other.
Right, like making out or whatever.
And yeah, you click on them, and they're like hee hee, and the other one's like grin, and then the one's like yo yo. And I'm like, what's going on in this alleyway?
They're like punks, though. They're like their avatar, or they're like overworld sprites.
Yeah, they don't look like little, 9-year-olds.
Like the skinhead punk.
Yeah,
overworld
they're punks. Yeah,
there's just 2 punks making out in this back alleyway, and then the only other thing in that alleyway is like a sad bar full of like depressed businessmen.
Oh yeah.
That was so weird.
I was upset they didn't create a track for the little acoustic guitar player.
I know, you did it last game. You did such an elaborate 5-person track in black and white. Why couldn't you do that again?
They had that accordion guy too.
Yeah.
But this one you just get a moo moo milk.
But anyway, the Royal Unova, Joshua.
Yes. Right, yes.
Is the one boat that you can take and that is useful. Sort of.
Mm-hmm.
I got on last night. My son was watching Blaze and the Monster Machines on the couch, and I was playing Pokemon next to him. And I got on the boat and started doing some battling, and then it was bedtime. So I set my Game Boy down, and I brought my son up to bed. And when I came downstairs and opened up my Game Boy again, I was greeted with the message like, "Bong, we've arrived back at Castelia Port. Thank you for riding the Royal Unova." And they kicked me off, and when I tried to go back on, they're like, "Sorry, it's closed." And I was like, okay, I'll go on tomorrow. And then this morning I booted it up again, and they're like, sorry, it only runs in the evening. So I went and looked it up, and it only runs for 2 hours every day.
Yeah, I was so confused because I tried to go to it earlier before this recording tonight, and I kept missing it, and I'm like going there at like 8 or whatever. I'm like, that's evening. As far as I'm concerned, what do you mean? When's evening? And so what is it, like 5 to 7 or something?
It only runs from 7 to 9.
Because I did do it tonight.
Oh, I didn't. I never bothered doing it again.
I managed to get on it finally.
Depending on so it's dependent on season, in-game season. So summer it runs from 7 to 9. And I'm in summer right now, and I presume that you are as well.
Yeah, although mine has not adjusted for mine is on so I guess that's why I did it, because I was playing at 6, so it must have thought it was 7. Okay.
And then the day of the week that you go into the Royal Unova will change the number of trainers and the prize that you get at the end. So yesterday when we were playing, it would have been 4 trainers. Today it's 3, but it can get up to 7 on Sundays.
I'm going to have to try to do
bad.
that. I got 3. I did beat them. Because I drew a 2, which was sort of a waste, because that's you, and then you can catch them on.
And this is a drawing route, too.
Yeah, because there's battles.
So you drew a 2.
Yeah, which is meaningless in this context.
But they don't let you unbox something if you can't catch anything?
No, 2 is super basic. It's just...
Oh, it's like you get to choose.
Yeah, I choose you, I guess, probably.
I drew the moon card, which is the card that doesn't let you look anything up.
Sounds like you looked some stuff up. But...
Well, I didn't have it for very long. We'll get to that in a second.
I see. Yeah, I beat the 3 trainers, and then you can go up onto the sun deck and like take in a beautiful view of like, the Brooklyn Bridge or whatever.
Right.
I guess it's probably the Sky Arrow Bridge.
Right.
But it goes under it. And then you get off after you decide to leave if you've beaten the trainers, and then you get off with several guests, and my reward for beating the 3 trainers was one thing of berry juice, which is just 20 HP, which I can't use anyway.
The Sunday prize is the good one. That's a rare candy, but you have to take on 7 trainers to do it.
That's high risk, high reward to go in there.
So
this
then,
context.
Once the Royal Unova trip is over, we're kicked out back in Castelia City, and surprise, surprise, have to draw a new fucking card.
Yeah.
I drove another 7.
Jesus.
Another draw 2 cards. But it was some of the most fortunate draws I've ever had in my life, because I drew the Star, which ended the Fool, which I've had forever. That's the one that made me teach a TM to all my Pokemon.
Oh, wait, no. The Fool. I've never even seen that one.
I had the Star kicked that one out of my 3 major arcanas.
Replace the highest level Pokemon in your party with the lowest level in your PC.
Right. And I couldn't do that one.
Yeah.
And then I got, so I drew the Star, which is...
You may use any of the following mechanics to acquire one new Pokemon of your choice from any area you've already visited. That's great.
But here's the thing. The mechanics in question are entirely unavailable to me at this point. The one for Unova's like, what's the Unova one?
Hidden Grottos.
Which I don't know what that is. And then you can do breeding too, but we don't have access to the daycare yet. And
but it says that if you draw this before you can access any of them, you can catch one new Pokemon of your choice by ordinary means from any area.
Yes, and that's what we will get into next, Josh.
I see. I'm connecting the dots now.
And then what's the magician? And so then I also drew the Magician, which ended the Tower. So all of a sudden, welcome back to the team, Psyduck. Corpalax.
Did you get the name wrong?
Psyduck, level 20. No. I drew the Magician, which kicked the Tower out of my Major Arcana held cards.
Oh, I see.
So then the Tower became null. So the Tower, which had locked Tepig and Psyduck in my box, was no longer applied. But I had already pulled Tepig out, so now it was just pulling Psyduck out.
But the Magician doesn't let you use physical attacks. That is the new thing.
Yes. So I drew the Magician and was unable to use physical attacks.
Oh my god.
Which is a nightmare. That, you know how hard that is? You know how many attacks are physical?
Most, probably.
Many of them.
Especially this stage of the game, yeah.
Most of them, I would say, are physical. So that was very difficult, but it did free up a bunch of Pokemon, and it did free up a bunch of like Major Arcana cards that I was holding on to. Tell me what you drew coming back to Castelia City.
Well,
After this break, oh God, it feels so good to actually get you.
That's a classic one.
Welcome back, Buckheaders. We just got off the Royal Unova.
Castelia.
We have to draw a new card now that we're back in Castelia City.
Mm-hmm.
I drew the 7, which got me the star and the magician. What did you draw?
Well, this will come into play with how the level check turns out, but as I said, I did this just tonight, so the last card I've drawn is the devil. But I did everything that we're about to talk about before I had the devil.
Okay.
And the devil, it sounds a lot worse than it is, at least at this stage of the game. The devil, first of all, allows you to catch the first Pokemon you see in this area, but I can't do that. But then I have to choose a new party of 6 Pokemon at random from all the Pokemon I own, except for Pokemon in the vessel.
Woof.
You can revoke any ongoing rules that would make this illegal, but I didn't have any at this point. So I had to keep these Pokemon for as long as the devil is in play.
Okay.
And what I decided to do for randomly, because I was like, I don't know how to figure this out. So I had Bobby get to look at the Pokemon in my PC and my party, and then he got to choose 6.
Okay. And what did he choose?
And I only have 7 because one of them's in the vessel.
Or I guess we'll get to what he chose when we do level check.
Yeah.
Because presumably it's just your entire team.
Yeah. But he has very particular likes and dislikes with Pokemon, so the outcome was a little surprising to me. That's where I'm at. We'll leave that for level check.
A quick diversion. Because of the star, I had the option to go back to a previous route and catch a Pokemon. So what I did was get on the boat and head back to Verbank City. I knew I wasn't going to do a battle in Verbank City, so I didn't draw a card. But when I went into Verbank Complex, I drew a card.
Okay.
And it was... So I went into Verbank Complex specifically to catch a Magby.
Interesting. Okay.
Here's why.
You already got all these fire Pokemon.
Here's why, Josh.
Yeah.
I was thinking back on all the previous routes we've been on and all of the Pokemon that were available in them. And I couldn't think of what each route had. And I couldn't look it up.
Right.
But what I did remember, because it was my You Make Me Barf last week, was that there was a Magby in Verbank Complex. And Magby eventually grows up into... Magmortar. And I was like, well, fine. Like, that seems good. So I went and got a Magby.
It is good. Okay.
I've since looked up who has better stats, Embor or Magmortar, and it's Embor. So I probably won't ever take that Magby out of the box, but it's nice to have a backup, I guess.
And that feels like a Pokemon that like some NPC might be interested in trading. You know, like you could get something out of that.
You'll notice I said I looked up who was stronger, Embor or Magby.
Yes.
And I did that because I drew a card when I entered the Verbank Complex, and that card was the World.
Oh, God, you getting all these exotic cards. I'm getting the fucking riffraff.
The funny thing is I do the like tournament shuffle every time I pick up the game to make sure that my cards are actually well shuffled.
I do too.
So, do you want to read what the World is?
Oh,
I think it's going to make you insanely jealous.
Oh, I'm already seeing it. All existing rules from both the major and minor arcana are revoked. Only petrified Pokemon and Pokemon in the vessel remain unusable. And catch the first Pokemon you see in this area, or free one petrified Pokemon. Who's the World in your deck also? Do you remember? Tanner finally got his Pokemon Tarot deck, which looks slick. He sent me a photo of the Mewtwo card.
Yeah.
It's the Mewtwo with the hood, like who moves around on rooftops at night.
He's the hermit.
Yeah.
No, I don't remember. I also realized that I misread that card and was supposed to get a catch in this area and didn't.
Too late.
I just got Magby.
I think you could free a petrified Mon if you
I didn't have any. The only Pokemon that was still in the box was my vessel Pokemon, Sewaddle, the Torkvar the First.
Right.
Torkvar the Dread. And I can't unbox him. So all my cards were wiped.
Drop the World.
All my team was released. It was so nice. What a relief. What a weight off my shoulders to pull the World card.
Yeah.
So then I caught my Magby and I got back on the boat and I went back to Castelia City.
What'd you get into there?
Well, I went to the Battle Company.
Love the Battle Company still.
You walk into one of the big buildings and a man stops you and he says, "I'm a janitor here.
Yeah.
But I don't know if he even says he used to be the CEO, but it becomes evident later that he used to be the CEO.
It was his whole little trick to get a look in at what his employees were doing.
Undercover boss.
And then ultimately he's ousted, I guess, and he becomes the very janitor that he was impersonating. Because that's what happens when you spy on your workers.
Yeah, don't spy on your workers. So Battle Company, yeah, you go in, the guy's like, see you upstairs, you go up to the top floor, and there's an office building, an office space here full of trainers. And these trainers are called clerks, and they are my trainer banger of the week.
Ooh.
Because did you see these clerk sprites?
Yeah, I did all this.
They were so good. They were superb. They were easily the best trainer sprites I've ever seen in a Pokemon game.
Yeah,
like,
it's nice that they have multiple types of it too.
And like, not only were the static sprites really good, because like the static sprites are like all these harried business people, like a guy who's like has like his folder propped up on his leg and he's like trying to write something down,
like while he's holding a Pokeball, and then he's on the cell phone like on his shoulder.
He's got and like the female clerk is like on the ground trying to like shovel papers into her bag, like and they're also animated, so like the guy who's like trying to balance, like you see him trying to balance and then he drops a Pokeball and it rolls away. And then like so does the female clerk, like she's on the ground and she drops a Pokeball and it rolls away. They just look so good.
It is really good. You're right.
Such good sprites.
There's also like a higher level clerk one who's like this boss guy who's just like hurling a Pokeball. Like he's got his life together a little bit more. He's like playing around with a Pokeball like it's a stress toy.
Yeah.
Very smart, these sprites.
Yeah. They look pretty good. But then you get to the end of this area and there is the janitor, the former CEO, confronts you once again, and he says, I passed the mantle down to my grandson.
Yeah.
He runs the company now, and it turns out to be a child. School kid Neil.
Yeah. He's running the whole thing.
Eevee and a Herdier. So
it's like a boss baby situation now.
Yeah. But this is where you get the scope lens, and the kid says that his dream is to release a device that lets people talk to Pokemon. That's what they're doing here at Battle Company, I guess.
Yeah, we always forget about Battle Company technically being
a corp
in the running. Corp. Yeah.
Well, they don't have any products yet, right?
They're basically just a services firm. Like it's all clerks. It's like lawyers and they're like consultants. Yeah, right. That's what it feels like.
Don't do any actual work. Just, I'm a consultant. Then we went to the other kind of notable landmark that you do some battling in is the Game Freak HQ, which is at the top of one of these other skyscrapers in Castelia.
Yeah.
And it's just as cute as it always is. You meet the guy who does the sound design and the guy who like does the sprites, and like you battle a couple of them, and then you battle the guy who like is the game runner of the game.
There's like a
Morimoto.
I couldn't find him. I remember fighting him in white, but I couldn't find him this time. But I did fight Nishino, who had a like hiker outfit, and I don't know what a hiker outfit guy
I guess that's just what he
is doing in this corporation. I guess that's just what the whatever
what he was
engineer chose. But he had a Clefairy that was just awful. It had leftovers
with
and,
leftovers.
God, and Encore and the double slap.
It was pretty annoying. At that point I had Psyduck back, and I was very excited about Psyduck being back, and Psyduck had disable, so I disabled his double slap right away, and then he couldn't do anything to me.
That's nice.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
Morimoto had the pan monkeys. I think Morimoto was the one who behind the like boss desk in the corner, and he had the 3 pan monkeys.
So, classic.
That's kind of it. There's other stuff to do in Castelia City, but none of it is all that exciting. Like you can buy ice cream cones and like be a tastemaker. People are like, the person's like, Castelia cones used to be so famous, but now no one ever wants them anymore. Do you want to buy one? And I bought 12, and then
supporting local business
on the street was like, oh, that guy's got a Castelia cone. I would love a Castelia cone right now. So I really, it was really a shot in the arm for the Castelia cone industry.
Good for you, Tanner.
Thank you.
I mean, Slaanesh is a tastemaker.
Slaanesh.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else? Is there anything else in Castelia that you wanted to talk about before we delved into the sewers?
No, I tried to go and fight Berg at this point, and that's when I learned about the sewers, which is where he
Clyde
has headed over to.
The guy who's at the beginning of every gym, who hands you the fresh waters, is waiting out front of the gym here, and he says, Berg isn't here. He went and chased some team plasma grunts off, and I don't know where he went. And then some other lady comes up.
Oh, yeah, Iris, who it looks completely different. Yeah, now she's got like purple hair.
Yeah,
it's like
she looks like Roxy. I thought it was Roxy at first.
There's like a big punk revival going on.
Oh, yeah, those punks
Unova
kissing
now.
in the alley, and Roxy, and now this lady.
Yeah.
But she's like, yeah, come with me. We'll find him.
Unova.
I think I know where he went. So you follow her to the docks, and then you there's the entrance to the sewers.
And that's where you were confronted by Bad Josh / Mr. Wrong also. Because he's hot on the chase, and he's like, we gotta go get him and find out what's going on in those sewers.
Right. But before you get too far into the sewers, he does insist on battling.
Yeah.
So a rematch against Bad Josh, handily beat him. Had no restrictions at this point, except when I finally went into the sewers.
Yeah, I think I only had I still have the Hanged Man, so I can't evolve. Other than that, Snivy had become my champion at that point. So Snivy could evolve.
Oh, right. Did you evolve Snivy?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, good. So yeah, then we go into the sewer. Hugh or Bad Josh or Mr. Wrong insist on sticking with you and doing double battles the entire time. But luckily, he also heals your Pokemon after every battle, so it's
so sweet.
Pretty easy breezy.
Yeah, there's so much training to do here.
There's a lot of training to do here, except you have to be careful with the fucking card pulls.
Right. Well, you get healed while he's around, so that was nice. But then it's all just fucking Zubats and Rattatas and a couple of Grimers, so not a ton of EXP, so you have to just grind it out. But there are trainers too.
I drew, coming into the Castelia sewers, 5 of wands, and 5 is the guy's rule again. I feel like I get nothing but 5s, which means I couldn't use any of the female Pokemon on my team, which was only just 1, so it wasn't a big deal.
Oh.
But it also meant I could only catch the first female Pokemon I see. So what I did, Josh, was
whatever it is,
leave and go and buy 1,000,000 repels, and then came back down and reapproached the situation.
I guess so. Yeah.
And I didn't draw a new card.
You're kind of technically re-engaging the area.
Well, here's the thing, though. I drew the 5 of wands with the expectation that I would do a battle, and then never did a battle. So I just let that 5 of wands ride. That was my excuse to myself.
I think it's a little flimsy, but maybe I'll bend the rules a little bit.
Because you only draw a card when you do a battle, right? And I didn't do any battle.
I thought you draw it as soon as you enter the area.
If you expect to do a battle. But then I never did a battle in
or
the
that there
sewers.
are
I immediately just turned around and left and went and got a bunch of repels. Because at this point I had lost the moon and I saw that all that was available was Rattatas and Zubats, and I was like, I don't want either of those things.
I think it's a little near cheaty.
So I dropped a repel and made my way through Castelia sewers. And you know what the nice part about this game is? Oh, what a good game this is. When your repel runs out, it says, your repel has run out. Do you want to use another one? And gives you a yes, no.
It is nice.
So nice. And then you're just like, yep, I do want to use another one. Onward.
Well, I'll also say the sewers, this is a delightful, for what it is, a delightful tile set. I like the whole vibe. It's got like the pipes and like dark water. There's little like arches. Yeah. There's like a couple of rooms in the back with like this woman who's experimenting to try to make potions with like the sludge. It was cool. I like the sewers. It is cool.
You know what it reminded me of? So like it's seasonal, like different parts of the sewer are accessible or not depending on the season.
Oh, interesting.
And I think because of that, there are a couple of rooms where you go in here. Did you enter these rooms where there was just like nothing in it?
There was one room with nothing in it. The other one had that woman trying to make potions. And I also saw an area with like a miner or something who I couldn't battle and a Pokeball I couldn't get to.
There's this thing that goes around the internet every now and then called the back rooms, which is like this copy pasta thing.
I just watched those this week.
It's good, right? It's spooky.
Yeah,
But,
it's like
that's
found footage.
That's what this whole area reminded
It's
me
cool.
of. Especially that one room you go in that's just completely empty.
Yeah.
It's like a huge room that's just totally empty. It's like definitely reminds me of the back rooms.
I was watching that over lunch, the long form one that's like 9 minutes long, because I was partially inspired by the sewers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Check out the back rooms, bug catchers. It's spooky. Scare warning though.
What did you catch down here? Or
This
what did you
is
draw down here?
Where I drew King of Wands.
Oh, King's
So I have a vessel running now.
Ugh.
Guess who I put into that vessel?
Not Snivy, because they were your champion, right?
Right. Plus it's good.
Swaddle.
The vessel floweth over with the swaddle Puyi, who's still level 2. I was like,
got a
oh,
level up.
great. Now I don't even have to bother with this thing and throw it into the vessel.
Do you have a grass type Pokemon? No.
But yeah, Snivy. Well, Servine.
Oh, right. Snivy, obviously. Right.
Servine. Probably.
Okay, so you got the King's Cup. Congratulations.
Yeah, it's flowing.
And this is where you saw your little pig knight that you fell in
Pig
love
Knight. Love fighting alongside that thing. Yeah.
I trained down here for a while. I did the thing. So you chase down the team Plasma Grunts and you do a double battle with them and Bad Josh / Mr. Wrong, and you beat him. And then Mr. Wrong leaves, and then not Hugh, Berg comes out of the woodwork and is like, thank you for driving them off. Like, please come fight me at my gym. You've done it. And then some other person, like in a lab coat.
Yeah, and like a weird headset.
They had like a weird headset on. It reminded me of the gym trainer who we fought at the end of last game.
Oh,
she was
Cynthia.
the dragon.
You mean Cynthia?
Yeah. She sort of reminded me of Cynthia because it was like a female appearing overworld sprite with blonde hair and like some kind of weird head piece.
But not all black, which is normally Cynthia's thing.
Well, yeah,
but I
wearing,
see that.
like a lab coat or something.
And everyone does have new little outfits, so that's interesting.
But she's just like, I can't even remember what she said. It was unimportant. She was just like, good job. I've been watching you. And then like left.
And like saunters away. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Berg is like, well, you could come battle me or just mess around down here.
Keep exploring the
But
sewer.
he had been, this person in the lab coat with the cool hair came out of like a hole in the wall, like another cavern.
Cave, yeah.
So I was like, I'm not leaving. I'm going to go in there. That's where I went, at least.
I didn't realize it was a separate thing, so I didn't draw a new card.
It says Relic Passage when you come into it. So that's a new area.
but I just assumed it was part of the sewer.
I mean, it's a different tile set, so it was like a cave. So I drew a card.
We didn't count the outdoor area of the sewer as a different part.
What do you mean?
The little like catch zone. The sewer you can go up those stairs and there's like a little plaza with tall grass.
Well, I didn't, even though I went up there and I was like, it was late. So I didn't text you. I was like, is this a different area? It didn't put a name card. It didn't put a title card. And I basically do it based on title cards.
Oh, okay. Well, I not only didn't really explore Relic Passage all that much, but I did not draw a card. I made it like 3 steps in and started getting attacked by like whatever Girder starts as.
Timber. There's timbers in there?
I started getting attacked by timbers and I was like, I gotta go. And I just left.
I didn't get to catch anything in there because I drew a knight, because I did draw. So this is my new champion. I made it Pidove.
Why?
Because I knew that I was going to fight Berg. And so I wanted to level up my Pidove because it's the flying type.
Right.
And then that would mean that, because I've run one before, so I knew that it evolved at like 21 or whatever. So I was like, okay, I can override the non-evolving thing if it's my champion.
Yes.
So this was actually good for me.
Yeah.
But then, yeah, after that, you fight a couple of trainers in there, and then you could access these stairs that some kid had been standing in front of previously and wouldn't let you go up because he's like, wait, I dropped something. You can't go up here. And then you go up there, and it's a beautiful, like, tree surrounded by different types of grass. There's some guy there who's like, some say this is where Castelia began.
Right.
And there's grass. And I was like, well, I didn't see a title card, so I guess I can't catch anything. And then a fucking Eevee comes out, and I'm furious.
Yeah, that stinks for you.
What did you do? You went here?
I went here.
You did not draw a card?
Well, I counted this as my sewer draw, so I'm still working on the 5 of
those
wands.
repels.
And then I had the repels in the sewers. So up here, I finally caught the Pokemon I was after, which
pretty convenient.
Who was it now? Oh, it was Cottony. I caught a Cottony.
Oh, okay.
A male cottony. I actually came up and started walking through the grass and encountered, I think, 4 or 5 female Pokemon. Like, I did a double battle with 2 female Rattatas and like a female like there. I just kept catching females, which I couldn't catch because I still had the 5 in play.
Right. Okay.
So the first male Pokemon that I encountered was a cottony, and I caught it, but it just went right to the box.
Not bad.
But then I sit and train here for a while, Josh, and then when I finally had to go heal, I left and went and healed, and then came back and drew a new card coming into the sewers.
Right. Okay.
And that card, Joshua, was 2 of Cups. Beautiful.
To you.
Pick any Pokemon you want and catch it. And I, of course, picked Eevee, and of course caught it. And welcome to the team, Eevee.
Damn it.
Welcome to the team, Eevee. Really happy to have Eevee on my team.
I hope that thing gets sent to the fucking vessel.
Pater Sin is its name, which we should probably just do level check now, huh? Because the only thing left is the gym.
Yeah, let's do level check.
Who you got, Mr. Wright?
Well, what my team is now, because of the devil, who's come for my lordly kings and queens, which starts with...
The devil does do that.
Yeah.
The devil will do that.
They are vain.
I've played enough Crusader Kings 3 to know that the devil will do that.
Especially this group.
Yeah.
Louis the 16th, who's a tranquil level 25 now.
Wow, tranquil.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess I didn't realize that Pidove was the beginning of that line.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess I just never figured that out.
It's like a beautiful swan kind of a thing. I mean, P-Dub's cute enough. Whatever.
Yeah.
It's just a fucking pigeon.
Just looks like a pigeon.
Yeah. Then we have Cleopatra, Venipede, level 17. I think probably no progress there. I had nothing to do with that mon in this leg, which was full of bugs and poison. So, no. Maria, Teresa, Adino, level 12. I put in some time.
Okay.
Then we have Anna Nazinga.
Ooh, newcomer.
Magnemite, level 19, because when we were still in...
fucking power leveled that thing.
I actually caught it when it was level 12. I got pretty lucky.
Oh, okay.
I did go back to Verbank Complex after Pokéstar Studios because I wanted to raise up Maria.
And what card did you draw?
2.
Okay.
And so I caught Magnemite. I was like, I'm going to get that fucking thing. And Anna Nazinga was a genderless, or more properly genderqueer, leader in the 17th century. She was the ruler of Ndongo and Matamba Kingdom in modern-day Angola.
Oh.
She was referred to as a queen, but because at the time women weren't believed to be capable of rule in Ndongo, she was said to have become a male by wearing king's robes and even keeping a harem of men who wore women's clothes.
That's cool.
Ever since, there have been many other queens who have ruled in Angola, and now she's known as the mother of Angola.
Good get.
So
you found a genderless queen to name your genderless Pokemon after.
Yeah, it took me a while. I was like, that would be fun if I can name it after a person who was non-gender conforming. So it took a bit, but I was pleased to find and read about Anna Nazinga. And I'm pleased to have a Magnemite that hopefully will be useful. George III, the Psyduck, is back.
Welcome back.
Level 17. And then Caligula, the Purloin, level 9, is suddenly back because of the devil.
Right.
Because, as I said, there are only 7 Bobby could have chose from, and he specifically impugned Servine, the evolved form of Snivy, which was level 19, and he swapped it out for Purloin.
Wow,
so,
you have the worst luck with that Snivy, huh?
I can't ever run this fucking thing. I finally get it evolved, and then it just gets boxed, and now I got a Purloin that I have to power level.
Yuck.
And
yuck.
That's Mr. Wright's situation.
That's a bad pull. Bobby really fucked you on that one.
Yeah.
Your husband really screwed you over on that one. Your best friend Tanner really gave you a lot of room to breathe this week.
You did help clean up my card situation, which was getting pretty dire.
Yeah.
I got $20,000 now. Things are okay. I still can't use potions, but what's Slaanesh running?
Slaanesh, the Dark Prince of Pleasure, has erupted from the Chaos Realms, and with them, they've brought a team of Chaos Lords. At the front of the charge is Abaddon the Despoiler, Pig Knight, level 25.
Yeah, that's their big boy.
Yeah, the Pig Knight was so useful this week, obviously.
Yeah.
And then there was Zorish, the Warsmith. Magnemite, level 24.
Damn.
Umbreg of the Brazen Flesh. Welcome to the team. Lucario,
Oh,
level 23.
this is a good team.
Furion, Growlithe, level 20. Although Growlithe is my only female Pokemon, so she didn't see a lot of time this week because I was dealing with that 5 most of the week.
Sad.
Corpulax, the Psyduck, level 20. And then the newcomer to the team, Paterson, Eevee,
Peter.
level 18. Welcome, Chaos Lords.
Yeah, the
I
Chaos
love all
Lords
of
are
you.
looking pretty fucking
I think
good.
this is maybe one of the best Pokemon teams I've ever run in the 5.5, 6, 7, however many games we've played. It's like a good team.
It's looking good, yeah.
But that's not the team I went into the gym with, Josh.
Right.
Because coming up from Castelia Sewers for the last time, I knew I had a battle in front of me, and that battle was the gym battle. And having a battle in front of me meant that I had to draw a card, and I drew a card, and the card was a 10 of Cups.
Yep.
So I texted you earlier today, and I said, "Observer, observe." And I laid it all out for you. I said, "Here's what's going on. I only have one box Pokemon, and he's in the vessel, so you can't let him out. I have no active rules except for a 5 because of my world card that I pulled. So you couldn't even negate any rules. So your only option was to really invent a new rule, which you did."
Yeah, I did have to get inspired by Nuzlocke because I was in meetings and I couldn't really think about it for too long. But I brought in a fan favorite, which is that you could only use the same number of Pokemon as the gym leader, which I was calling Eye for an Eye.
Right. But little did you know, Joshua, that I had a Tepig, a Magnemite, and a Lucario on my team. So it was
I did not.
smooth sailing. Gotta tell you, it was absolutely zero issue with Berg and the bug type gym.
I really should have done the one that doesn't let you have a higher level Pokemon than the gym leader. That would have screwed you over, probably.
Except Berg had a level 20...
22, I think, was his highest.
I think he had a 24. I think his Leviani was a 24.
Oh, Leavanny was 24, so you would have been okay.
Pignite evolved while battling Leavanny, leveled up to 25. So yeah,
All right.
I probably would have been fine. But yeah,
So-
the Pignite and Lucario just like stormed this gym. Like Pignite took care of all of the. Actually, they all did their part. Pignite took care of all the grass Pokemon. Magnemite took care of any Pokemon that had flying, and Lucario took care of any of the ground Pokemon. So
Nice.
easy peasy. How did you do with Berg?
Mine was easy because that Tranquil had been power leveled from becoming the champion and
Smart.
like clearing everything. And I was able to level it up once I got into the gym. But when I stepped foot in the gym, I drew an 8, which is the mate. So I had to box the Pokemon in my current party that has spent the most time in it.
R.I.P.
So-
Servine.
Servine was boxed again. And then my chance where I could have gotten it out was with the devil after this, and Bobby didn't like it either.
Bobby
So
didn't like
Servine saw the light of day for a few levels this week and won't make it into the level check.
I will say it was kind of a cool gym too, though. It was all cocoons, and you have to like, for some reason, you get sucked into them. Like there's a suction
Yeah.
like visual, and you get sucked, you get gulped up, and then you get spit out on different levels.
I don't know how it works mechanically, but one of the Harlequins, one of Berg's minions at one point is like, yeah, Berg did this remodel of the gym because he wanted to know what it felt like to be living in a cocoon like his beloved bug Pokemon.
I don't know much about caterpillars and butterflies, but I do know this because I read it recently, that apparently like we don't really understand what happens in cocoons, and that
Oh, I've read that, yeah.
caterpillars like enter cocoons and like turn into like a slurry. Like essentially there's just like goo in there. Like they just dissolve into goo and then they reform into butterflies.
I wonder if maybe it's not even the same bug.
You think a new
Do you
bug
think it's
comes
a
in?
new brain? Do they? It's
I
not
don't
much
know,
of
man.
a brain to
It
begin
freaks
with.
my bean to think about.
That is messed up.
They just turn into goo and then they turn into a different bug. That's
And
fucked
is it
up.
the same bug? Does the
Weird.
bug know what it was? You know? This is like Berg
Too much
shit
for
up
me
in
to
his
think of.
like he's getting high working
Oh,
on
that's
his
what
new
he was.
art.
He was probably just like depressed, and he's like, I got to be a new Berg.
Yeah.
I have to goo out and then return as a beautiful butterfly berg.
He needed inspiration for his next art installation.
Oh yeah, he's an artist
What if
now
I'm
too,
not
and
the
he's doing a bunch of
berg?
painting in his little cocoon penthouse at the top of the gym.
Which was cool too. There's paint buckets everywhere.
And the paint is
very
dripping
vibrant
down from above when you're in the bottom of the gym.
Yeah. I liked it. I'll also say the music in here I always check out the gym music because the battle theme is probably my favorite track. But the gym layout music is this super minimalistic, distorted, piano focused sort of Pokemon root theme. I like this gym a lot.
Yeah, I liked it too. It was a fun gym. It was a fun battle. Easy battle, sounds like, for both of us.
Yeah, I mean, it was air cutter on every single bug in the place.
Which is surprising. I didn't expect any gym battle to be easy in this game, but man, I think I had some good draws this week.
Relatively, my act got cleaned up a bit. I still have a couple of problems, but it's a better shape than I was last week.
Yeah, and we both have 6-mon teams finally, but I think bug catchers, we were waiting to get full teams before we go back to flipping coins to see if we're gonna do battles each week. So we will go back to coin flipping and potentially battling starting next week.
Yeah, the 6-mon for me was recent development. So
yeah, that just happened.
Yeah.
So. But that's it. That's the leg. We took on Berg. Next week we're headed to Opelucid City.
Opelucid's next? Wow.
Oh, I think so. I don't know. I assume that's why they introduced what's-her-face.
Iris.
Yeah,
it makes sense, but, I don't know. I can't look it up.
Oh, it's going to be a long leg next week, my friend. No, we're going to Nimbasa next.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense.
But we have to get through...
Are we doing all that desert again?
We have to get through the desert first.
Oh. Would have liked to have my Servine for the desert. That would have been nice.
Yeah, we have to do...
At least I have the Psyduck again.
Next week we'll be doing the Desert Resort, the Relic Castle, and something called Join Avenue before eventually making our way to Nimbasa City and Nimbasa Gym. Bug catchers, thank you for joining us. My name has been Lee Vanner, and I am joined, as always, by my co-host, Fiebel. Oh, by the way, Berg had both a Livani and a Dwebble.
Yeah.
Which is where the names came from.
Dwebble is fun to say.
This is Experience Share. It's Pokemon Podcast. Please do rate and review the show on Apple Podcasts. Please do rate and review the show on Spotify as well. And do follow the show everywhere that you follow podcasts, be that Overcast or Pocket Casts or Stitcher or
whatever. Podcast Addict.
Yep.
Name as many as I can. And give us a follow on Twitter and Instagram at EXPSharePod. And you can hang out with the rest of the bug catchers at reddit.com/r/bugcatchers and participate in level checks on your own there weekly.
Yeah. And then you'll have the chance to potentially battle us at the end of the season too, which can be fun for you if you're getting involved in those level checks.
Hopefully I won't have a level 2 Swaddle by then.
Well, with the King's Lock, you never know, do you?
Nope.
We'll see. That is it for us. We will see you next week, bug catchers. Joshua, bug catchers. Goodbye.
Smell you later.